Hi, hello dears. Today we are going to discuss about the third part of the chapter on the face of it. So as we know the story. It's about a teenage boy. His name was Derry, and who has a burnt face, and Mr. Lamb, who is a disabled old man with an artificial leg made of tin. So one day, Derry accidentally enters Lamb's garden so that he can hide himself from people who hate him because of his ugly face. But Mr. Lamb not only welcomes in his garden but also encourages Derry to lead a normal life and leaving behind his past. And Mr. Lamb stated to him that he has a tin leg and how kids make fun of him. Yet he enjoys his life to the fullest. So Derry explains about his fear, hatred and depression because of his ugly face. Also, Mr. Lamb keeps on telling him to think about the positive things. So Mr. Lamb is trying to console Derry, and he keep on telling him to think about the positive things. So let's find out what happened next. So Mr. Lamb said that probably Derry wanted to kiss pretty girls who had long hair and large eyes, or other people whom Derry loved. But Derry replied that no one would ever allow him to do so. So Mr. Lamb said that this was unpredictable. As a result, Derry said that he will never look different. When he will be as old as Mr. Lamb, then also he will have a half face. And Mr. Lamb said that yes, he will always have half a face. But the world was full of so many things to look at. So he must look at its beauty. So here the lamb is trying to tell that there is so much beautiful things in our world. Never ever look in the one side. Maybe in the one side the scenery is very bad, but on the other side the beautiful things will be there. So we have to enjoy and we have to admire that things also. So Derry questioned him that was the garden the whole world for him. So Lamb replied that when he was present in the garden, then the garden was his world. He then questions him whether his leg hurt. Lang replied that tin didn't hurt, it never pained. Tin means that artificial leg. For that, Derry asked him if he suffered pain when he lost his leg. Lamb said that it pained back then. He then asked him if it pained now, where the artificial leg stuck into the real one. Lamb said that sometimes it pained in wet weather, but it was not that important. So he told that he is speaking about his tin leg. So it will paint in some wet weather, but according to Lamb, it's not an important thing. So Derry said that he could understand what he meant by all this, as he had heard people saying that you should take a lesson from those who suffer in pain and never cry or complain about their problems. So here Derry is trying to tells that some people, he heard some people are saying that we have to take a lesson from those who suffer in pain. So never cry or complain about our problems. There are so many other people who are suffering from pain. So Mr. Lamb said that he didn't say so. And Derek continued that people told him to look at those people who were in worse conditions than him. They told him that he might have become blind, be born deaf, or be handicapped and have to remain in a wheelchair. He may even have been born with mental disorder. So here Derry telling that about other people are saying you have to be very happy because you might have become blind, deaf, handicapped, to remain in a wheelchair, be born with mental disorder, anything. So never ever complain about your nowadays problem. For that, Mr. Lamb said that yes, it was true, and that Derry knew so much. So, for the Derry's lecture, Mr. Lamb also agreed that that is very true thing. We might born deaf, handicapped, and remain in a wheelchair, mental disorder, anything. Now we are in a full condition, working condition. So we have to thank God for allowing us to live in such a beautiful world. So Derry replied that all this would not change his face. One day, as he was waiting at a bus stop, a woman passed by him. He heard her telling another woman that he had such a terrible face that only his mother could love him and no one else could. So, Derry is explaining about his experience. So, Derry heard that one lady was telling to another lady about Derry's face, and she told that only Derry's mother could love him and no one else could love Derry. So Mr. Lamb asked him, did he believe what he heard? Derry replied that Derry stressed that he heard it, and he said that it was very cruel. Lamb suggested him to shut his ears and he should ignore all this. So Lamb is trying to console Derry, and he is telling to think about the positive things, positive sides, and he is keeps on telling to ignore all the things and we have to shut our ears.